Hey everybody, I'm back. So finally at the final dungeon. Honestly, this has been a bit exhausting.
Beautiful.
Can't go that way. So, all that stuff that has tormented our Avistan for a century sprawled out of this dump? Raise this place down to the very foundation, Commander. Why did you come? As a man of honor, I could not stay away. I've been at war with demons my whole life, and if there's anything I can do for you in the last battle, I'm ready to risk my head. It's good that you're here. If in the upcoming battle you need a pair of sleek fighters, let me know. Some of my comrades are real ruffians. Anivia?
Commander, you promised us victory when it seemed impossible, and you did not let us down. Doing the impossible is your specialty. You have led us here, to the very gates of the enemy's lair. Now we will end this century-long nightmare once and for all.
You're so good at toppling fortresses by now, you can almost keep time by it. The Grey Garrison, Dresden, and now Threshold. So are we coming up on noon or midnight on the commander clock? Doesn't matter. The bards can settle that one. It's the hour of your triumph.
So much time's passed since we first met. Do you remember our first meeting?
Of course. It was a long time ago now, but it's not the kind of thing you forget. I was almost buried alive. If it wasn't for you and Sela, my skull would be lying in some cave right now with only rats for company.
It was unforgettable. That attack on the Grey Garrison was the last desperate push, the last hope of holding the city when it seemed only a miracle could save us. We would have died there. But you and Anevia leapt out of the ground, and then miracles began to happen.
How would you rate our chances of winning?
We have a chance. And that's a far sight better than how things stood not so long ago. Of course, it's too early to celebrate. We've still got a battle to fight, the likes of which we've never seen before. But I think you can pull it off.
With you leading us, those monsters should be worrying about their chances of escaping with their lives.
What are you going to do after we win?
Personally, I'm going to be doing a big pile of nothing. For a month, or maybe two. Hire Beth too. Wheedling, blackmail, violence. I'll stop at nothing to drag her away on her first ever vacation.
Whatever you say, I can see surrender as my only option.
Alright, time to finish this.
We've waited so long for this. Onward to victory!
Lead on, Commander.
The demons have completely neglected the fortifications here. They are in complete disarray. However, this plays right into our hands. What are you doing here? I fulfill my duty to Abadar, of course. I am not afraid of chaos, so I go into a world of savagery and grief to bring the light of civilization, law, and order. Can you help me with something before the attack? As before, I can help you cast the necessary spells, and if you wish to recuperate, I will make sure that your rest is not disturbed. Glad that you're here with us. May Abadar keep you, Commander. I see that you brought the altar of Abadar here to the threshold. The Crusader army needs protection from the corruption of the Abyss, as do you, Commander. I am deeply flattered that the privilege of granting such protection has been given to me and my god. All free?
This endeavor rushes toward its conclusion. I wish to speak with you. To be honest, I almost stopped believing that I would live to see this moment. It has been at least 50 years since I stopped hoping and believing it could happen. And yet, here we are, at the entrance to Threshold. All thanks to you. I have made a great many mistakes in my life, and I suppose I shall pay for every one of them, in this life or in the afterlife. But few mistakes became apparent to me as quickly and as painfully as my feud with you.
That's all in the past now. I hold no grudge against you.
I feel really happy. I mean it. I thought I would not have enough strength to drag this burden of regrets along to the final battle.
What are you going to do after we win?
I am going to rule Mendev. What else? I do not seem to have much choice in that. I have become a symbol of battle and of the war for our liberation. I hope I am wise enough to become a symbol of peace, too.
I have a request. When we win, the ward stones will no longer be needed. Whatever happens to me, free the angels imprisoned inside them.
You are right. I shall fulfill your request, although it will be difficult. No one in Mendev knows the sacrifice that the creation of the ward stones demanded. The stones themselves are seen as a symbol of hope and safety. To destroy them would be akin to dismantling the fortress walls around Mendev's cities. It will provoke suspicion and panic, even if the demons are defeated by that time. But the angels have done their duty and should be freed. Therefore, should we win, I shall carry out your request, even if it means losing the people's trust.
Had to go.
Yes, of course. May Iyomade be with you, or any other higher power you believe in.
Storyteller? How did you end up right in the thick of battle? This is not my first battle, Commander. I know how to defend myself. The thunder of a fight has never stopped me from getting into another adventure. I have come to witness great things, and some unsightly demons will not dare to get in my way. Will you help us in battle? Blind man is hardly what you will need when storming a fortress. I will stay here, among the soldiers, guarding the gates against uninvited guests. If you manage to seize any artifacts whose nature you wish to know, bring them to me and I'll read their stories. What do you think lies ahead for me? My gift is useless here. This story has yet to be written, and the quill is in your hands, Commander. I appreciate you coming here, right to the heart of the fight. How could I miss a story like this? I wish to witness it, not listen to the retelling in years to come. I found a page that might interest you. The purple flame covers my eyes. I cannot turn away, it follows my gaze. I cannot close my eyes, it will follow there too. The part of the tower burned out my sight, and I am not sure I will ever be able to see my dear Galarian again, wounded, groaning from the consequences of Earthfall, but no less loved because of that. Exhausted, I sit down on the cold floor of the laboratory. All my work was in vain. I wasted my entire long elven life looking for something that turned out to be useless. Didn't understand what really mattered to me. Galarian, such as it was before Earthfall, does not exist anymore. But there is another, new Galarian, a young one that is surviving, fighting for its life. By connecting it with another plane, I would have destroyed the new Galarian, making it an extension of the other plane. Instead of trying to save old Galarian, I should have helped the new one. I was supposed to preserve the memory of old Galarian, to gather the knowledge and heritage of the lost civilizations and give them to the world when it needs them. For at some point it will rise from the ashes without any help. Believe this now, and deep down I always have. So that's how you lost your sight. Looks like it. I still see only this purple flame. After so many years it has become quite dear to me. You almost opened the world wound. You are right, it would have been a terrible crime against Galarian, a murder. At the time it was much weaker than it is now. It wouldn't have been able to resist the demonic invasion. Luckily, I was wise enough to stop before it was too late. Please continue. Rise, elf, this is not the end. A masterful voice seems to ring in my head. A silhouette of an angel appears in the flame. Purple flames are reflected in her gleaming steel armor. She has no face, just two fiery eyes burning deep in the steel hood. Rise, elf, rise and bow to the will of Pharasma. Rejoice, elf, for the Lady of Graves has deemed you worthy. You pursued your goal despite the opinions of those around you and even fate itself. But you managed to stay your hand once you realized your mistake. You saved Galarian from yourself. For this, the Lady of Graves wants to give you a gift. You will become her usher, an immortal psychopomp. You will take a place at my lady's side and become the keeper of history. Not just for Galarian, but for all the planes. In return, Pharasma requires one thing. Tear up your bark-covered notebook. Let the knowledge you obtained remain a secret for many generations of Galarians after you. Pharasma herself sent her herald to me. For the first time in my life, I, the last Archmage of Kyonin, who proudly looked in the eyes of demon lords, feel unsure. My hand feels for the notebook on the floor. My fingers run over the tree bark cover lovingly. I don't need eyes to recognize it. I know all its cracks and bumps. It's like my child, the only meaning of my meaningless life. I don't want to destroy it. I can't find it in me to obey the order of the Lady of Graves. You refused Pharasma herself? I did a stupid thing, didn't I? I, the last Archmage of Kyonin, was just a fool who had lost his purpose in life, and then dared to disobey a goddess. If I were her, I'd have ordered the herald to destroy the deranged old man. Tell me about the herald Pharasma sent to you. The Steward of the Skein, warrior and herald of Pharasma's will. The Lady of Graves sends her to restore the balance of fates, and also to pronounce a great prophecy. Her interference in the fates of the world is almost imperceptible. Only a few remember meeting her. Don't eternal life and serving Pharasma merit the destruction of such dangerous knowledge? My mind wants to say yes. I should have destroyed my dangerous notes that could have ruined Galarian, but my heart says the opposite. For this knowledge is also part of old Galarian's heritage. I, a child of that lost world, created it in my reckless pride. If I want to preserve all Galarian's heritage, do I have the right to choose which part of this heritage should be wiped out of history? Please continue. I am ready to undergo any punishment for my refusal, but the Steward of the Skein only looks at me quietly, as if pondering something. The knowledge in your hands must not see the light. This is beyond question, but my lady is merciful and has agreed to make concessions. You will tear the pages out of your notebook, and along with it, out of your memory. You will scatter all pages throughout the world, and your memory will be purged. You will be immortal but pure, like a newborn babe. Use your new life to keep the memory of the fallen and seek the truth about your own past. As soon as you remember this moment, you will lose your immortality and will have to answer my question again. Will you choose to become a servant of Our Lady, or will you prefer to live out the short time you have left? I find no strength to answer, and only nod. The steward raises her hand, and we both find ourselves in a whirlwind. I see nothing but the purple flame and the glowing image of the herald, but the rest of my senses tell me we are rushing through many places. I hear seagulls crying and the smell of salty ocean air, followed by the rumble of a raging volcano. The bracing wind of the plains changes to the dry heat of a desert, and then the blistering cold of a snowy mountaintop. In each of these places, I tear out a page and give it to the wind. It grabs the new toy from my hands and takes it far away to hide from me for many years. With every torn page, I start to forget. What did I do in the Ivory Labyrinth? Why did I live in Elutionera? And indeed, did I ever live there? The name Keeney seems vaguely familiar, but I don't remember why it should mean something to me. Maybe it was my own name. Exhausted, I fall down on the withered grass. I remember this is how the woods of my home, Kyonin, used to smell. My mind drowns in the darkness. I don't see the steward any longer, but I still hear her voice. Look for your past, elf, and gather the stories of Galarian, for this is your calling. I name you the storyteller. When you remember this moment, destroy the dangerous knowledge that has once again fallen into your hands, and Pharasma will see you in her halls. And you, Reynard, help him with this. Help him make the right decision. What should I do, Reynard? I've gathered the stories of Galarian for so long, looking for my past. Now I have found it. Should I accept Pharasma's proposal and be reborn, or refuse and die? Do we have to decide? Right now? I'm afraid so. I feel Pharasma's heavy, silent gaze. She is studying me, evaluating my decisions. She is waiting for my reply. Forgive me for burdening you with this and asking for your advice. What do you want? Oh, if only I could answer this question. It would be safe to assume several thousand years would be enough to make a single decision, but obviously, the last Archmage of Kyonin is also the most indecisive creature on all the planes of the world. So then you got your name, Storyteller, from Pharasma? I suppose so. As for my real name, I remembered it. The name of the last Archmage of Kyonin. An old, unwanted, unassuming name. It doesn't suit me anymore. I am the Storyteller, and I would like to remain so until the end of my days. What will happen if you accept Pharasma's proposal? I will die and be reborn in a new guise and join the servants of the Lady of Graves. The secret and dangerous knowledge of how to merge the planes of the world will die with me. I am free to live out the time I have left, the few years fate has in store for me. When they pass, I will die, and then enter Pharasma's halls and give her my oath properly. What will happen if you reject Pharasma's proposal? I will stay here. I will keep my secret knowledge to hide it in the most faraway and safest place I can find. My age will catch up with me gradually, but I think I still have a few years to write books of the stories I've gathered, or tell them to someone I will take on as an apprentice. As you see, any choice means a prompt death for me, but I am not afraid. I, having seen the death of thousands of civilizations and outlived time itself, know better than many what is enough. Accept Pharasma's proposal. You must destroy the dangerous knowledge. You are right. After so many years, I should have realized how dangerous knowledge can be. Pages in the storyteller's hands crumble to ash. The elf raises his hands to his face as if trying to see the knowledge turn to dust, but then he chuckles and shakes the ashes off. Well, that's it. Now everything is over. I know my story, the one I yearned to know all these years and that I had once hidden from myself. And all this is because of you. Thank you. You've given me the greatest possible gift, myself. No reward can measure up to your merits, but still, please accept from me a grain of the knowledge that you've helped me to discover. Anything? No? Yes, that's it. Scarenthal? Pyrolictor?
Is there any chance, even a tiny one, that we can just, call this whole thing off now and go home? Before, I would have just made a run for it, but I can't do that now. Something is holding me back, and I really don't like the thought of leaving you high and dry. See what you turned me into?
If I turned you into a hero, maybe?
If you want to send me to the front line, I ain't going, so don't even try that hero stuff on me. I'm gonna fight because I don't want to die. And because we're kind of friends now. Don't you go getting yourself killed either. I can't stand being sad, so just don't do that to me.
I promise you'll have no cause to be sad.
And I won't be. At least not for long. I've got plans, you know. Lots of them, like getting rich. I won't have time to be crying over dead heroes. But if you do survive, I'll make sure to cut you in. That reminds me, the Tiefling's merchandise is still at your disposal. So don't be afraid to ask if you find yourself in need of something.
Grey boar?
Not a bad spot to end this war. Formidable, menacing. It has a certain style about it. Seeing as our contract is coming to an end, Commander, let me just say that you are the most impressive client I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And a highly lucrative pleasure it's been, too.
You don't regret taking me up on my offer?
Of course not. Where else would I have had so many adventures? Besides, it's thanks to you that I've been able to add so many accomplishments to my service record, which will boost my rates in the future. You know, it's jobs like this, the ones that are both fun and pay well, that make me love what I do.
Now tell me you've crawled right into the maw of the abyss for the sake of gold.
Well, it sure wasn't in the name of Iomade. Of course, money's not the be-all and end-all. You dimwits need someone with a clear head on your side, someone to watch your back. I know how you hero types love sacrificing yourselves at the drop of a hat.
Time is money. We shouldn't squander it.
Now you're talking. Why don't you show me who it is we need to kill to win this war? Areelu Vorlesh? I'll wish that lady sweet dreams with unalloyed pleasure.
This is it. The last fortress. It's been a long road from the river city to here. We walked and walked and walked along the road, and suddenly, there's no more road.
Are you ready for the battle?
Nobody is ready. It will be scary, very scary. In the last fortress, all the lies will end, and the truth will rise. It's scary, but it's good.
Truth? Lies? What are you talking about?
Nobody knows what will happen next. People are afraid of the future, so that's why they make it up. They lie to themselves so it's not so scary. They convince themselves and others of the things they make up. But one day the future will come. The story ends, for better or worse. When everything's already happened, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. And there's no reason to lie.
What are you going to do when the war is over?
The Redeemed Knights say they need me. I think they can manage fine without me, but maybe I really can help them somehow. I think we'll do a lot of good together.
Let's go. It's time to fight.
Hear that, Soot? It's time.
Nenio?
I am calculating the likelihood of your victory. Taking into consideration the fortifications of Threshold, the long period it has been under demon control, and Areelu Vorlesh, who is personally overseeing the defense, I would give the Crusaders a 30% chance of success at most. Of course, the presence of an illustrious scholar of Galarion in your ranks, meaning me, immediately increases your chances by 5%.
Are you afraid?
Fear is an unproductive emotion that typically gets in the way of a good experiment. And I have never indicated that I do not support my loyal follower in his battle against the demons. I simply calculated your chances of success.
Whatever our chances, we're not backing down.
If you win, I'll make sure to mention you in my encyclopedia. Aha! With that as an incentive, your chances have increased by 5%. Consider this my contribution to your victory.
Socio?
There it is. The Citadel, the Demon Army. You know, I expected it to be formidable and fearsome. Something that would make me quake in terror. But now that I am standing at its gates, I'm surprised at how little fear I feel. Do not mistake this for bravado. Our enemies are dangerous, but no more than that. We have traveled to the heart of the Abyss, and back again. Now we are home, on our own territory. This time, let it be the invaders who quake in terror. I regret that Trevor did not live to see this battle. But that means that today I will be fighting for myself and for him. For everyone who did not live to see our victory.
What are you going to do after we win?
I will go home to Endor. I will lay down my weapon and never pick up another so long as I live. Save a knife for cutting grapevines. I will serve the goddess in our old temple. And when the peasant children come to pepper me with questions about the crusade, I will do my utmost to make sure that my stories give none the idea that there is anything beautiful or romantic about war.
You've changed so much since we first met.
I had to. If I had a choice, I probably would have stayed the same naive little boy I was before the war. The boy who had never killed, who had never been to the Abyss, who had never buried those with whom he had sat around a campfire only the night before. Even so, when I set out to join this war, my head was full of so many romantic notions. More than usual for a naive little boy. But life found a way to shatter those most thoroughly.
I'm sure your brother would be proud of you.
Pride is known as a mortal sin for good reason. It was pride that propelled my brother to join the crusade in search of glory. And look how that ended. No, I am not here to make anyone proud. I only want one thing. For this nightmare, after 100 long years, to finally be over.
Are you ready? Then to battle.
Ready. Let us drive the demons all the way back to the Abyss!
Aaron?
At last, this irksome crusade is drawing to a close. All right. It hasn't been that irksome. All in all, it was a fine adventure. And the company was more than adequate. The most important outcome of today, of course, will be that I shall be immortalized in works of art depicting the Fifth Crusade as the most attractive crusader.
I see you're not afraid of the fight ahead. It's only a battle against the worst horrors of the world wound, after all.
Perhaps I should reconsider. No. Others can be afraid. But I know who our leader is and what he is capable of. I have never seen you fail to rise to a challenge, no matter how impossible. So leave me and my optimism be. We will win. If anyone should be afraid, it is the wretches inside Threshold.
Well then, onward to victory.
And to the victory feast, I trust?
Regil?
Greetings. Allow me to congratulate you on leading the armies of the Fifth Crusade to its decisive confrontation. Excellent. At last, a real achievement and a genuine chance of victory.
Here we are at Threshold. The final battle and the resolution of the world wound problem is at hand. Are you happy?
I suppose I am. Being happy is not in my nature, but for the first time in years, I feel something akin to that emotion. It would be interesting to analyze what I experience when I see the criminal Areelu Vorlesh defeated, the demons ousted, and the world wound closed at last. It promises to be an exceptional moment.
It has been an honor to fight alongside you, Regil.
Thank you for your high estimation of my abilities. Our views on certain matters are not always aligned, but I fully recognize your achievements as a commander and as a comrade.
It's time. Get ready for a bitter fight.
I am always ready.
Lan?
You know what's crazy?
I never thought this moment would come so soon. It feels like only yesterday we were trying to bring a blazing Canabras under control, and now we're standing on the cusp of our last battle. Threshold. This isn't how I imagined it. I thought I'd be running happily toward death and trying to do something particularly heroic so I could go out in style. But now, I'm thinking about how we have to win and go back to Dresden because there's so much work still to do there.
We're definitely not going to die. I have a good feeling about this.
Me too. You've got a whole army behind you, and we're all ready to win. If we fail now, when we've got this far, then that means the Crusades were always doomed to fail. We've been going easy on these demons for too long, don't you think? It's time to show them one last time what Galarians are capable of.
Gwendolyn?
So, this is where it all ends. When I first crossed paths with you in Neathholm, I never thought I'd end up in the very heart of the world wound. You certainly know how to enjoy yourself. I suppose now is the time to thank you for that. After everything we've gone through together, it's strange to think that I once planned to spend my whole life in those horrible catacombs under Canabras. I know this won't sound much in the spirit of the Crusade, but betraying Hosilla was the best decision of my life.
You already decided what you'll do after we win?
Of course! I'll find the largest pile of spoils, sit down on it, and scare off anyone who even thinks of stealing any of it. It's almost as if you don't know me at all.
It's time. Let's show them what the Underground Crusaders are made of.
Our years of exile have given us quite the score to settle. And today, the demons will pay for everything.
Hila?
Hey! Well, are we gonna stick it to the demons one last time?
Have you thought about what you're going to do after we win?
I haven't had time to think about it. All of my thoughts are focused on the coming battle. But I think I'll stay here a while, help the world to return to a life of peace and catch any demons that aren't dead yet. And I don't want to leave all my friends either. When we have peace, there will finally be time to spend with everybody. And after that, well, stick a pin in a map. There are still many places in the world where people are in need of help. Wherever the road takes me, I'll find a way to put my blade to use. And this block of wood.
You're a true friend, Hila. It's been an honor fighting shoulder to shoulder with you.
Back at you, friend. So, are we going to crush some demons? It's time to show them the door once and for all!
Arushale.
There it is. The heart of the wound. The source of all the evil that has been wrought here over the last 100 years. It all began here. And we will end it here. If Areelu Vorlesh had never opened the world wound, I would never have ended up on Galarian. I would never have met Desna, or you. I would never have embarked on the path of good. The world isn't fair. Thousands of innocent mortals perished during this invasion. But it was also the catalyst for one demoness's discovery of goodness and love. This may merely be a quirk of fate, but it means that our happiness together has come at a horrifying cost. Today, we will repay but a fraction of that debt. We will close this abomination so that no one else has to die.
Our love is a refutation of everything the demons believe in. If they had any sense, they would flee this place as fast as they could.
I know, I actually pity them. If only I could have shown them what I feel. If only I could have shared this goodness, this tenderness with them. I'm sure they would have started on the same path as I have. But if helping them to change is beyond my abilities, then I will have to do battle against them. I will let no one threaten you and our happiness. No one.
You defeated the Abyss within yourself. After such a feat, routing its armies will be a breeze.
I did not do it alone. You have led your army to victory, and me to my dream.
Now you're shouldering the guilt for all the victims of the invasion? Isn't that too much for one Arushale to handle?
It's not about guilt. It's just that I am ashamed to take any joy in my freedom, knowing that this terrible war was the cause of it. Everyone would have been better off if the world wound had never been opened. But then I would have remained a monster. Perhaps one day I will atone for all the evil I did. But it took a far greater evil to make my redemption even possible.
What are you going to do after we win?
You know what?
Are you ready, then, to battle?
I am ready. Let the Abyss tremble in fear.
Here we go. At the gates of Threshold, the darkness is dense and viscous, like a brew in a cauldron. The darkness seems to devour all light pouring in from outside. But the danger lies not only within. The companions you don't take into the final battle will remain here to guard the approach to Threshold, and they must be ready to fight as well. Threshold was a prison once, and it remains a prison now. May these grim walls crumble along with all the evil they gave birth to. Another voice joins your song, then another and another. Soon all the free crusaders are singing, and then joining the choir are your soldiers, allies, and companions. The melody grows, rises, becomes stronger. It soars like the wind, and the walls of the ancient prison seem to shudder, unable to withstand the song's power until they crumble away, along with the darkness within. Same party as always. So it looks like I can go back if I need to. You do not disappoint, my chosen. Your performance has been flawless. I hope you will continue to impress me, and that you will do what needs to be done in the end. What do you want from me? Isn't it customary among mortals for the noble lady to bless her knight before the final battle? Well, why can I not do the same? Do you know what lies ahead? Better than anyone, and yet not well enough. You are about to confront the most lethal, powerful, and capable servant I've ever had. She is unmatched in her abilities, but you are her creation, her masterpiece. You are the only one who stands a chance of stopping her. The creation must surpass the creator. I have to go. In the past, you have rejected my profane gift, but the situation is different now. You face a dangerous enemy, and you will need all the help you can get. So for the first time in the many ages of my existence, I will offer my patronage a second time. You spurned me once, but now I will ask you again. If you accept my power, I will protect you during your fight against Areelu Vorlesh. If you refuse, you will face her alone and die. What will you choose? I will not die. You will regret your decision. In your moment of defeat, you will remember the victory that could have been yours. But your keen insight pleases me. You are defiant, headstrong, and driven, just like me. I do not yield to the power of others. I refuse to give up my independence, and it seems that you are the same. We have so much in common. Is it possible that you are more deserving of my gift than the obedient servants who subjugate themselves to my will? Yes, I think I will give you my gift after all. I have woven this wreath from the darkest, most insidious shadows of the abyss. Wear it as a sign of my respect. Articula falls silent, but you hear a pure, clear voice, the voice of Iomade. Her words resound in your ears like a roll of thunder. You have made the right choice. Your soul has the strength and fortitude to cast aside the Lady in Shadow's lies. There is hope for you yet. I wish you good fortune, Crusader. Go forth and do what must be done. What did I get? Darkness Caress. This headband of perfection +8 allows its wearer to add their charisma bonus to all damage dealt by ranged weapons. Hold on. Oh. Yes. Hey! Those guys! They're fighting each other?
I will resist!
Why does that thing have 56 AC?
Cover me, all right?
Prepare yourself!
Guide my hand!
Finally. I guess they're going outside to help the defenders out there.
You should have listened to reason.
Just another trash mob.
Is that a trap?
Pretty good, aren't I?
Yeah, I don't think I killed anyone with that weird. Looks like I did stun a bunch of people though.
Areelu
T, go! Into the fray! Ah!
Is Zorges supposed to do something here?
I got this.
Elven notes.
I feel like you're chosen.
I found a page that might interest you. Another page? But we have already learned my entire story. Could it be? There is another. This can't be true, but still, I see it. Another story hidden in these pages will open before us. 3 paces to the left there is a stone wall. 3 paces to the right there is a stone wall. Beneath me there is a rough stone floor. Around me there is only stone, cold like the hearts of my captors. Caught, imprisoned, here in this black hole, this dungeon with no sky, no sun, forever and ever, until I die. Jagged nails scratching the stone wall, crumbled teeth biting through lips, an inhuman roar clawing out of a throat. The animal they turned me into is roaring. Enough. Stop, Areelu. Remember who you are and what you need to do. My will is still strong. It is the only thing I have left. I force my hand down, I unclench my teeth, I stop the growl, I overcome the animal I'm turning into. Even here, even now, I won't give up. I have a plan. Insane, dangerous, life-saving. I will carry it out. I will summon the demons of the abyss. I will destroy this dungeon along with all of Sarkoris. Perhaps all of Galarian too. What is this place? This is a fortress that resists enemies on the inside, not on the outside. A prison for those whose abilities have not been approved by the priests of Pulura, the shamans of Storasta, or the chiefs of Ice. This is the threshold, and I am imprisoned in its deepest dungeon. What were you imprisoned for? For what is the wrong question. The right question is why. Because all the chiefs, priests, druids, and shamans are afraid of one woman, Areelu Vorlesh. So afraid that their knees tremble, their hair stands on end, and their teeth chatter. They are afraid for a reason. Please continue. My wardens don't know my secret. My cell measures 6 paces wide by 6 long. but it is in fact much more spacious. I bite through a vein on my wrist and let my blood wash over the stone floor of my cage. The falling drops form a black spot, opening a way to my subspace, a small corner of the abyss, my secret haven and my laboratory. I put pressure on the bleeding wound. I wouldn't want to die, no matter how much it would please my captors, and I step into the portal. I sit at the table and look through my treasures once again. I know all of them. I know every detail and flaw. They are my route to salvation and my hope. I found them many years ago in the ruins of a well-hidden tower, behind a secret door in the laboratory of an ancient mage, a heart-sized uncut crystal burning with purple flame, and a blank page torn from an old notebook. Oh, how much I'd like to look into this notebook, read all of it, but one page was enough. I run my hand over the page. I feel shreds of the words and thoughts of an ancient mage, someone who walked the same path I'm walking. There is much I don't understand. Many things escape me. I hear echoes of frightening names. Baphomet, Descari, Nocticula, and Keeney. Who is Keeney? It doesn't matter. These shreds of knowledge were enough for me to devise my own method of opening a rift between Galarian and the Abyss. Not to escape, oh no. I can escape now. It's not hard with my abilities, but to fight. For my future and for the future of my child, whom my captors killed in front of me. And if Galarian is doomed to perish in my struggle, so be it. I wonder if the ancient mage who wrote the book to which this page belongs would be proud of me. Am I proud? I want to say that I am not, that I'm ashamed that my work has been used to help open the world wound. And still, there is a glimmer of pride in me. Pride that my work proved a success. Erasma was right, wasn't she? This knowledge should have been destroyed from the start. I am in no position to judge you. You are right. The Lady of Graves will judge me herself, and very soon. And still, please take it. It no longer belongs to me. It is part of another, even more frightening and dangerous book. Destroy it or keep it. It doesn't concern me anymore. Blank page. Blank page torn from an ancient notebook. Its surface is yellowed, and there is a small spot of blood on the corner.
Here we go.
The letters written by the hand of Areelu Vorlesh appear to have a life all their own. A moment's inattention and they begin to disperse, changing shape and moving toward the edge of the page, as though they are planning to leap off. The commander lays the second part of the Lexicon of Paradox next to the first, and the movement of the letters becomes more intelligible. The lines of both parts now seem drawn to each other, straining to unite and form new sentences. Place the blank page from the storyteller's book between the two halves of the lexicon. The blank page obtained from the storyteller fits seamlessly between the two halves of the lexicon, as if it were always meant to be there, as if this page had once been found by Areelu Vorlesh, who saw its hidden potential and used the storyteller's knowledge, lost in the depths of time, as the foundation for developing the process to open the world wound. After a moment, words begin to appear on the once blank page. words that have shifted there from the two halves of the book. These words form phrases that reveal the precious secrets of the lexicon of paradox. The transformation process was initially conceived by me as a power source. However, in the course of my experiments, I learned that it partially solves the problem of the slow demise of the key. The power that manifests after transformation, I am almost certain the mortals will devise some overblown name for it, like mythic or legendary, serves as an effective shield against the poisonous influence of the wound. Problems arise when it is used. When the power is expended, for instance in combat, the shield is weakened, and the infiltrating emanations of the wound strike the key, wounding it and robbing it of its life force. This problem is immaterial in comparison to the second. The power increase after transformation is not infinite, nor is its protective effect. I managed to stave off the death of the key for several decades, but even despite achieving the extreme level of power bestowed by the transformation, at some point the key's protection will weaken. The world wound will prevail and consume the soul of the key. I must admit that my research has come to a dead end. I have developed the power of the transformation process to its very limit, and I have failed to find a way to completely cure the wound's effects, except for extreme measures. At this, the secret writings of Areelu Vorlesh come to an end. Whatever their significance, their contents will undoubtedly be of use to the commander in the future. As if reading the commander's thoughts, the lexicon separates into two halves once more. Is that it then? Yep, that's it.
I can handle it.
Restless.
Let's see if he can pull this off. Oh.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Are you still here?
Distract them for me. Time to share your treasures.
Can't make the demons wait. Good guys always win.
God damn it.
Into the fray!
Make your peace.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
I got this.
Cover me, all right?
I will resist!
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
No glory without risk!
Damn you! beautiful!
Yeah, this is gonna be a long dungeon, isn't it? Quivering pile of metal bears little resemblance to a living creature. The voice that addresses you is the only sign of its sentience. Identification process complete. Crusaders recognized. Crusaders are enemies of Areelu Vorlesh. Initiating protocol. Communication with a potential ally. Step 1. A request. Crusader, I ask you to attack and kill me. Who are you? Name. Immezzalent. Creature type, inevitable. Status, prisoner. Objective, termination. Why do you want me to kill you? Necessity, my existence sustains the energies and the integrity of the Threshold Fortress. The Threshold Fortress protects Areelu Vorlesh. Conclusion, my existence sustains the enemies of order. My existence must be terminated. Obstacle, existing protocols. Self-destruction is prohibited. Self-defense is permitted. If you attack me, you will activate my self-defense protocols. I will defend myself. I will be destroyed in battle. This scenario fulfills the objective and does not contradict existing protocols. Conclusion. The Crusaders need to reach the most secure areas of the Threshold Fortress. My death will cause the collapse of Threshold's defenses. Therefore, the Crusaders must terminate my existence in order to achieve their objective. Risk assessment. My death may cause some of the fortress's exterior structures to collapse. It may become difficult to return to the entrance of the fortress. Can you explain to me in detail what will happen if you die? Chaos will prevail. The defensive and load-bearing magical structures that sustain the integrity of Threshold will be destroyed. There is a high risk that the fortress's exterior walls and gates will collapse. However, my death will also destroy the defenses around the heart of Threshold where Areelu Vorlesh is situated. The heart of Threshold is the heart of the World Wound. This location is currently inaccessible to the Crusaders. Therefore, the Crusaders require my termination. I want to ask you some questions. Initiating protocol. Provide information to a potential ally. I am ready to respond. How did you get here? I was on a deep reconnaissance mission. I was sent by the Axiomites of the Axis to investigate a strange new disturbance in the Threshold Fortress, but I was captured by Areelu Vorlesh and her demonic allies. Since then, I have remained both her prisoner and her test subject. The Inevitable's essence is used to stabilize the structures that sustain the Threshold Fortress. What can you tell me about Threshold? The Threshold Fortress is the central location of the load-bearing magical structures that enable the World Wound's existence. The Threshold Fortress is the most stable part of the Wound, the only part that is minimally affected by the principal chaos of the Abyss. This paradox should not lead to confusion. The Threshold Fortress remains in a state of quiescence, but this is not its natural state. Areelu Vorlesh uses external sources of power to prevent its destabilization. This is the purpose I unwillingly serve. I supply the power necessary to sustain the Threshold Fortress. What can you tell me about Areelu? Areelu Vorlesh, formerly a mortal woman, now a half-demon in possession of mythic powers. Threat level, comparable to demon lords. Psychological profile, extremely unstable. Her capacity for deep analysis and understanding coexists with her predisposition to manias and fixations. Conclusion, Areelu Vorlesh is an enemy of order and is therefore subject to termination. What can you tell me about the World Wound? A comprehensive account of all the data I have collected on this phenomenon will take, by my calculations, 4 days, 6 hours, and 35 minutes. An account of this duration is unacceptable under the current circumstances, proceeding to recount key points and key points only. Point 1. The world wound is an artificially created planar rift. It is an intersection between the material plane and the plane of the abyss. The world wound allows demons to travel freely from the abyss to Galarian, and it also creates a favorable environment for magical cataclysms, anomalies, and phenomena. Point 2. The world wound's existence was only made possible as a result of the criminal acts of Areelu Vorlesh. On 2 occasions, she conducted a ritual to bind a mortal soul, once with the essence of the abyss and once with a demonic soul. The soul-binding ritual acts as the framework for the intersection of the planes. If this ritual is reversed, the soul will be severed from its bond, and the material plane will be severed from the abyss. This process will likely result in the termination of the bonded soul. The prognosis for its owner's survival, unfavorable. Point 3. The world wound is an unprecedented violation of world order and a powerful weapon of chaos. The world wound must be removed at all costs. I have no more questions. I await your decision. I will go. I have to go, but I will return. I await your return. Do not delay. Alright, time to make a hard save. I will grant your request. Let's fight. I thank you, ally. It will be an honor to die in battle. So is he an Aeon? AC 72. Holy shit.
Distract them from me.
There we go. Now what? What? Papers with erratically scribbled calculations and formulas. The words "I promise" are written repeatedly in the margins.
Let's see what we can do.
Something about this strange place feels oppressive. The air is still and silent, but you can hear the distant echoes of words, promises, and battle cries. You strain to hear what's being said, but you can only make out a few words. Finally, cease, sorcerer. I promise. I promise.
Can't be dismissed as a calculation error. You knew failure was a possibility. Then why? Why?
I need answers.
Yes. It's decided. I will tell you the truth. Before we fight to the death. Would you like to know why I upended your life?
Speak.
This place is my demi-plane. I created it when I was a prisoner in Threshold. I would slip away to conduct my rituals here in secret. This is where I decided to create what mortals would later call the World Wound. This is where I made all my preparations. Do you understand? Escaping was never my goal. I could have easily disappeared from Threshold. I could have passed through it like water through sand, but that wasn't my goal. Some believe that I brought Sarkoris to ruin out of revenge, and I suppose there is some truth to that. I did have reason for revenge. You've been to the secret part of my laboratory and know what I'm talking about. Or at least you have an inkling. My laboratory. The old house in the middle of nowhere that marked the entrance to my lab. It was the home of Areelu Vorlesh when I was still a mere mortal. I lived there with my son, away from the din of the crowd, and sheltered from the keen gaze of the Sarkorian witch hunters. It was a place where the reality of our world was in close proximity to the abyss. A place where I could study the magic forbidden to all Sarkorians. I thought I had hidden my home well, but I was wrong. They found it. They found us. At that hour, I was there, in the laboratory. That damned laboratory I loved so much. I was absorbed in one of my experiments when the hunters arrived on our doorstep. I was sitting at my desk, recording my observations, thoughts, and calculations, as was my habit. That's when I heard the noise outside. The fight was brief. It barely lasted a moment. By the time I sensed that something was amiss and hurried out to see what was happening, it was too late. All I could do was cradle the body of my dead child and cry after their departing soul. I promise.
Nothing can justify the killing of a child.
I am not concerned with whether it was justified or not, or with the application of morality, the law, or the teachings of any god. Look around you. This demi-plane. The first time I escaped from my cell and ran here, I was trying to resurrect my son. I tried many things, but all my efforts were in vain. The soul had already received Pharasma's judgment, and had been sent on the path determined by the gods. Into the abyss. And when I realized that, I rebelled. But not against my jailers. Not against those who had murdered my child. Not even against Sarkoris. My uprising was against destiny. Death, and the laws that the gods had forced upon our lives. I realized then that I wouldn't be satisfied with simply returning my son to life. I had to shatter this order once and for all, and make it so that neither Pharasma and her lackeys nor death itself could ever stand between us. Only by stepping beyond the bounds of what had been ordained for mortal kind, by obtaining powers that rivaled the divine, could we become free. And with this newfound purpose, I turned myself into a half-demon. Fusing the spiritual essence of the two planes was the only way I could achieve my goal. I let the abyss into my soul and into this world. I opened the world wound. I danced around 3 demon lords, making them assist me without ever revealing my true intentions. They just believed they were dealing with another power-hungry mortal. But in reality, I was after one thing. I wanted to find what was left of my son's soul and give him a new birth. One that would prevent anything from ever harming him again. And then I found you. I chose you because I felt a faint affinity to you. I thought your soul could accept the remains of my son's soul, like the soil takes a seed. I thought I could bring back my child by tethering the mangled remnants of his soul to a pure mortal soul untouched by the abyss. I thought the power of the Nahindrian crystals would allow me to protect him forever. That I could tear him away from the dominion of mortal nature. But I was mistaken in both assumptions. Now I'm about to face the consequences of my mistake. You will witness them as well.
My final mythic level. Let's see. Let's go weapon focus mythic. Let's go with this. Deep slumber, I guess. Animal aspect greater. Castigate mass. Serenity. And I guess whole person mass. And waves of ecstasy, I guess. Destructive shockwave. Weapon focus mythic longbow. Mythic sneak attacker. Destructive shockwave. Wait, destructive shockwave? But she doesn't fight in melee. School mastery conjuration. Everybody still hasted? For 30 more seconds. Better cast it again. What?
Are you still here?
Time to share your treasures!
Nice!
Prepare yourself!
Ah, really?
Good guys always win.
Cover me, all right?
Damn it.
Into the fray!
No, there's nothing more over there.
Areelu Vorlesh, the one you call the Betrayer, have nothing to offer you but death. Karamzadeh, I will give you the chance to avenge your death. Rise.
Curse you, mortal scum! You have struck ice into my heart. I will devour your souls to loosen its freezing grip.
Ah, boy.
Aboran, Sentes. Abronda Gratior.
Retreat is not an option.
sentence.
Simply business.
Honor Adayan. Fabrizio Turinos!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel. Kneel before me.
Amorone sentence. Fabrizio Turinos!
Did you see that?
This one's mine.
Gotcha.
fight.
Patritium Turinos!
It isn't my time yet.
Aborane Sendes. Adayana.
Why am I so weak?
You're in my way.
Aborane Sendes. Amranda Gratior.
You won't survive me.
Stashani Savitur. Stashani Savitur. Shani Savitur!
Simply business.
This fucking thing.
Need your assistance.
Oh, I gotta start all the way back here. Is it possible for a game to be too long? Maybe it is.
Can't be dismissed as a Yes. I thought I had hidden my home well. I look around and then I
Wait, what? Why didn't I get any other spells? Probably just another bug. I'll at least get this fight over with before I leave.
ventured recklessly into the abyss has now reached threshold. In Iz, you struck down my creator and master Daskari, but if that makes you dismissive of his echo, if you think I do not pose a threat, then you are greatly mistaken.
Where's Daskari? Is he too afraid to fight me personally?
Master is in the abyss, in his realm. No, he does not wish to meet with you yet. A demon lord cannot afford 2 deaths in succession. It will kill them permanently.
You didn't want to fight me in the abyss, so why are you here now?
I was hunting the hand of the inheritor in the abyss, not you. And what a good hunt it was. But now things are different. Now you are the prey I covet more than anything else.
You're just another monster for me to kill.
Just another mortal who thinks he can be something more than food for the forces of the abyss. He lost to you. He lost. The great Daskari himself lost to a mortal. So what happens if I succeed where the great lord failed? If an echo destroys the one its originator could not defeat, who would that make me? What would it prove? I'll risk my life to know. You are not just my enemy, you are my chance. A chance I won't miss.
I would turn the difficulty back up, but at this point in the game I'm just too exhausted to really care about the difficulty. Just don't really have anything to prove anymore. Nothing I really care about anyways. Well, anyway, I'm gonna leave it there for now. Alright, well, thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you all again some other time.